Hi, folks, and welcome to another episode of G.O.A.F.S. That's Getting Old Ain't for Sissies with Big Tom Rivers. Tom's an old hipster with 47 years of radio to remember. In places like Chicago, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Minneapolis, Indianapolis, and plenty more, believe me. G.O.A.F.S. was Tom's idea for baby boomers who want something to help them with growing older, but with a touch of the goofy, offbeat, and absurd. And that describes this man to a T for Tom.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Chaw Mouthwash. The all-new, all-tobacco juice mouthwash that yellows your teeth and leaves your breath tasting tobacco fresh. That's Chaw Mouthwash, available everywhere in the handy spittoon-shaped bottle.
Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend for a long time now and a real nutcase, Mr. Tom Rivers.
Thank you, Doug Dahlgren. What a great friend he is. I mean, really, a great friend. I mean, he's doing all this for practically nothing. I mean, nothing. Thanks, Doug. He's a good buddy. Doug told me before he was married, he chased a woman for 2 entire years, only to discover that her tastes were exactly like his. They both liked girls. Oh, that hurts. Ouch. Last time on episode 38, we told you after last week's Supreme Court Justice hearing, the USDA had printed Senator Dianne Feinstein's nutritional information on her forehead for an easy ID at D.C. buffets. Captain Crunch gave up cereal for lunch meat, and Dole pineapples will now have warning labels attached telling you they're prickly to the touch. All that was just a bunch of hooey that I made up. Gotcha! You thought it was real, didn't you? Also, a reminder, you can email me at tomrivers@icloud.com. That's tomrivers@icloud.com. And you can find this podcast on the iHeart Podcast Network, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Google+, Tumblr, Spotify, Twitter, YouTube, and my Facebook page. All I ask is when you're on one of those social media sites, please click either like or follow. And thank you very much for listening. Now onward, episode 39 of G.O.A.F.S. Getting Old Ain't for Sissies. Got an email from my buddy Larry Crawford this morning, as a matter of fact. October 2nd, Pray for America Day. Our dream, a nation turning to God. Thank you for joining us in Praying for America. We ask that everyone would continue to cover our nation in daily prayer. Thank you very much, Larry, for sending me the email, and we just pass your wish on to everyone who listens to this podcast. It's a good thought. We pray for wisdom, that we should seek the Lord with all our hearts, and that God will continue to shower his blessings upon this great nation. All right. Just to prove that you're listening to the right podcast, G.O.A.F.S., most people have heard the claim that men think about sex every 7 seconds. That's about 8,000 times a day. Ain't true? No. There's absolutely no research to back that claim up. It's every 3 seconds. It works like this. Food, breathe, sex. Food, breathe, sex. That's how it works. Sex. Okay, welcome to October. In addition to Halloween, there are some weird official days that happen this month. On October 4th, there's National Ships in a Bottle Day. October 5th is World Smile Day. The 10th is National Cake Decorating Day. October 11th is Southern Food Heritage Day. And the 12th is International Top Spinning Day. That's from Chase's calendar. Voting is coming up. Ugh. The upcoming midterm elections, and the most anticipated in a long time. If you're planning on voting, and why the heck aren't you? If you're not, you should. It's important to check to see if you're registered. if you're not sure whether you're registered to vote or you just want to double check, most states have an online voter database where you can check on your registration status. You can also reach out to your city's municipal office, and they can verify your status, or you can also just re-register to vote, and that's not voter fraud. Your previous registration will just be replaced with your new information, okay? This past weekend, went up to Dallas for 3 days and ate out at many fine restaurants. And, you eat out at different restaurants, you find out what your pet peeves are, what really bugs you about certain restaurants. And what really bugs people the most when it comes to dining out? Noise. People hate the most is noise. Next, bad service, crowds, high prices, and the last thing is parking. Where are we going to park? Where are we going to park? Where are we going to park? What time do you go to bed? It's an odd question, but if you go to bed at the same time every night, it's a good thing. Sticking to a regular bedtime is linked with better mental health. People who go to bed at the same time each night experience fewer experiences of depression symptoms and lower levels of stress. Not only that, but they're also healthier with lower blood pressure and less risk of heart disease. That's from scientific reports. And coming up on our next episode, I'll have a special on sleep deprivation. That ought to be interesting. Sounds like I'm getting serious, but we'll find out. And if you find it hard to go to sleep, maybe it's because you're locked into too much social media and you need a break. The more time you spend on social media, the less happy you are. The reason? Looking at pictures and reading updates from friends leads you to compare your worst self to their best selves, leaving you feeling sad and left out. But the solution is simple. Spend more time in real life, dopey, with friends and family, and save special media for specific updates rather than aimlessly scrolling through everyone else's perfect vacation and lives. That's from Depression and Anxiety, a research journal. And if you're a baby boomer, do you want to live longer? If you're over 60, you kind of get the idea of what mortality is. So scientific research suggests you'd be wise to adopt these 5 habits. Don't smoke. Don't drink too much. Watch your weight. Eat healthy foods and exercise at least 30 minutes a day. Let's see, I've never smoked. I don't drink anymore. I'm losing weight. Healthy foods, well, once in a while. Exercise, I gave up years ago. I try, but when you're traveling, you run into some very strange places. America is the land of weird town names. These are real places, folks. There's Bacon Level, Alabama, Dead Horse, Alaska, Nowhere, Colorado, Bluebell, Delaware, Hell for certain, Kentucky, and my favorite, Buttsville, New Jersey. And one thing I did notice being out this past weekend, we're definitely a coffee nation. It's true, nearly 2/3, 64% of Americans ages 18 and older drink at least a cup every day, maybe 2, maybe 3. Those high numbers have not been seen since the mid-'70s, when coffee's reign seemed in danger from soft drinks. Wow. And it's fall, so you may remember this story if you're a true baby boomer, okay? Johnny Appleseed, remember that guy? Well, he was real. His real name was John Chapman. He planted thousands of apple trees on U.S. soil, but the apples on those trees were not the tasty varieties that we have today. Johnny Appleseed didn't expect his fruits to be eaten, but rather made into hard apple cider. He had other things on his mind. Got that one from the Smithsonian Magazine. I read some pretty heavy stuff. And when you're out traveling, you do see some interesting things. You see some interesting things on the side of the road, like dead possums. Some of them are really dead. Some of them aren't. Possums don't play dead. When they're frightened, they become overexcited and pass out. I do that once in a while myself. I become overexcited and pass out. That was the problem with my second marriage. Next time on G.O.A.F.S, episode 40. What is true happiness? Is it a warm gun? Is it a puppy? Is it that girl next door? Is it that girl next door in your shower? How did she get there? Will she be there when you wake up? Also a story I promised you last week and forgot to do. I found it. And weird sex laws. Yes, I've got lots of those that I've been working on. Yes, that's all coming up in episode 40 of G.O.A.F.S. with me, Big Tom Rivers. Bye!
Thanks for listening to another episode of G.O.A.F.S. Getting Old Ain't for Sissies with your host, my friend, Big Tom Rivers. G.O.A.F.S. with Big Tom can be found and heard on these great podcast platforms: the iHeart Podcast Network, Google+, SoundCloud, Tumblr, Spotify, Twitter, YouTube, and Big Tom Rivers' personal Facebook page. And please don't forget, on any of those social media pages, remember to check off like, following, or favorite, whatever choice they offer. Also, email the big guy at tomrivers@icloud.com. You know, he does answer his emails. For Big Tom and G.O.A.F.S, I'm Doug Dahlgren in Chicago. Enjoy your evening.